Hi everyone and welcome to another hair tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to color short wavy hair, and I'm using the same image as last time because I really wanted to show you that you can actually take a hair that is long and make it short. So to begin with the tutorial, I am using my lightest color to map out my hair, and the reason for using the lightest color and not a pencil is that a pencil will actually be locked under Copics. So if you color with your pencil and then you color with your Copics and you try to erase the pencil, it will not work. The other reason I'm using the lightest color is because then I can go in with the darker color and kind of rectify if I do anything wrong. But yeah, that's how it works. I'm doing the no line coloring technique again because no line coloring is what makes this possible. If I had black lines, I would have been needing to kind of move with those lines, and therefore a straight hairdo would be with ponytails would basically be the only thing, because going outside the dark lines would just make it look messy. Also, a little note, when I tried to figure out this hairstyle, I actually went to Pinterest and did a Pinterest search for short wavy hair, and I think I also added that it was a side split or whatever that is called, and I got a whole bunch of really nice photos. So I looked at a couple of ones and I saw my favorite bangs in one, and I saw the kind of how the hair moved in another. So I had the whole search pad up on my window when I did this. I did this first on a separate card, so I actually already have a card with this image, and because I already have a card with this image, the card that I made from this image will be given away, and I'm going to tell you how to get it at the end of the video. But yeah, so into the tutorial, I started out with the YR32, I blocked it out, I added the light where I wanted my highlights to be, and then I'm going in with the E99, and I'm doing a very similar technique to what I did with the short, like the teeny tiny waves. The difference is that I have more room to work with the darker colors. I just elongated, so instead of having those teeny tiny U's that were very, very small, I'm making much bigger U's in this. And because I'm having bigger things, I can angle my pen a little bit more, and therefore it's easier for you to actually see my brush. However, I am going to look into to see if I can angle my camera just slightly to be able to make it a little bit easier for you to see. It is kind of a balance between seeing the image as straight on as possible or you seeing my brush, but it's very, very seldom that I have that really just straight up. Here you still can see the nib of my brush most of the time, but yeah. So with my darkest E99, I'm going in where I have the valleys. I'm doing those U shapes. Again, I'm doing the bigger further away, the smaller closer, just because I like that kind of how it looks. I really like how it looks. And then I'm adding the darkness in her bangs. So I'm just giving those detailing in her bangs a little bit more. A little note on when it comes to when you're choosing your image to do this with, because I'm using this image and because of how the gray lines lay and how I color her skin, I cannot do a like a straight, make it a straight split of the hair and not having the bangs, because the lines of the bangs go straight over her forehead, and that would be seen underneath my skin, so you would see the lines, and I'm trying to do what I can from the image I have chosen. And if I didn't say it in the beginning of the video, this is a Stamp Anniething image. It is for free, so if you want to pick it up, I don't know how long it will be for free, but right now it is for free. I would recommend heading over and signing up with their Facebook groups, because then you will get notified whenever there are free images or whenever they have new releases. They have beautiful stamps, real. She's mainly a clear stamp producer. She has very little digital stamps, so you know. Back to the tutorial. The E97, that is my second and darkest color. I am just kind of elongating my little U shapes, making kind of just shaping those waves a little bit. In some cases, I'm not just using the U shapes, I'm doing like very soft M shapes, probably, like where I do a little bit of a mountain, a valley, a mountain, to kind of just shape it. What I'm trying to do is to leave the highlights in the middle. I know that I'm going to work with 5 different colors in this hair. The reason for 5 different colors is to give the depth that I want. When you are working with just 3 colors, you can still get pretty good depth. But when you're using 5, as I'm using here, and I'm using different tones, like I'm using the E90s, and then I'm using the YRs, and then I'm using a Y at the end, I'm getting a different ratio between blues and reds and yellows, which is kind of the base pigments. And because those are different ratios, I get a fuller hair, a fuller image. So that is also a tip. Play around with your markers, try different things. It is very hard to blend colors from really different color combinations, like a blue and a red. They won't blend very good because the pigmentation is so different. However, you can find tones in different in kind of the closer the next lying families, like in this case the YR, which is the oranges, and the yellows. They have both yellow in them, and therefore they are easier to blend, and then you can play around with it. I play around with a lot of coloring, and there's a few of those creations that never see the light of day because they just didn't do what I wanted them to do. But then again, I learned something from it. It's always good. After I've gone in and done those U shapes, I'm going in with the YR14. Another note to kind of talk about is that when I'm going in with the YR14, I am going in over both the Y99 and the E97. Because I'm going over the E90s, I'm pushing some of those darkest pigments down into the paper, and therefore it lightens up a little bit, and that is kind of what I'm after. I'm not after the darkest tone of the E99, I'm after what it becomes after I've gone through all the colors. And you will learn, this is something like I have been coloring with Copic since 2013. So you will learn how your pen works, and the only way to learn how the pen works is to use and practice with them. That's just how it works. So this is the first layer. I am going in a second layer, and again, the reason for doing a second layer is to get that extra depth. You will have overlapping colors, you will get a more of a blended effect, but you also will see when I'm doing that, I'm not going in with the darkest color, and that is because I don't want to deepen the color too much, and also the darkest color is the hardest to blend. So I'm going in with the next to darkest color and then going up through all of the colors, and I'm doing that because I do want the depth, I want the blend, I wanted a little bit of a darker color but not a lot of a darker color. So also a tip, you can always use a dark color that might not match perfectly. If you go over it enough times, it will be hidden. By the way, I have found though that some papers take less ink or pigment than other. I have the 80 pound or the Hammermill that I'm coloring here. It does not take as many layers as my Make It Colorful cardstock. That I can tell you. Paper is a big part of coloring. You have to choose the paper you like. The Hammermill, I actually really like it because it has a little bit of a creamier tone. but it doesn't take as many layers as the Make It Colorful paper. So I have been slowly learning how to color on the Hammermill, and I really like it. Also, it's much more affordable, like a lot more affordable. But yeah, I'm finishing it off, the last layer, by going over with a YR32 again, just over the whole image, but just to kind of blend all of those lines together, tone down those lines a little bit. And I'm going to show you how I remove her ponytail. So what I'm doing is I'm going in with a white gel pen. I'm just coloring on top of those lines. And here you might say that, well, it does hide them, but does it do a really good job? Well, I'm going to show you here on the other card, and that is here I cut them off and you can't see them because you don't have the other reference of those other dark lines. You really can't see them. Actually, it looks pretty good. And as I said in the beginning of the video, you can win this card with the little hearts on her dress if you want to. Tell me down below what is your favorite hair style that you want me to color next. If you have any questions, comment down below. If you like it, thumbs it up. And if you want to see more like this, hit that subscribe button. And I will see you later. Bye!